Here we go, here we go, here we go. Welcome to another episode of The Outsiders, The Outsiders podcast, The Outsiders, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and we're just rolling and rolling. I have with me my co-host, superstar Doc Cheatham.
Good day to everyone. God bless you. And sorry, you're doing an outstanding job. The check is in the mail.
just keep them rolling in. We are going to have quite a show today because our special guests are going to be Linda Batts and Mary Hughes. They're the Gwynns.
That's the female actual, was it Sundance Kid, Bush Cassidy and Sundance Kid? Those are the two new gunslingers.
Okay, yes they are. They are the female version of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. And they're going to be on Gwynns Falls Parkway Association, and they're going to be on to talk about this business with these bike lanes and Gwynns Falls Parkway. I mean, first, I want to say something real quick, because we're going to touch on the Orioles and what's going on. Little sports, of course. I just want to touch on that. But before I do, full disclosure, I grew up right off of Gwynns Falls Parkway, Chelsea Terrace. My grandfather and grandmother lived on Chelsea Terrace, spent a lot of time in that area. I also attended the HBCU and graduated from Coppin State as well. So I spent a lot of time going up and down Gwynns Falls Parkway. My mom even walked my brother and myself in real tiny tights to Mondawmin Mall. And I'm just going to say this straight up. I mean, this is before Linda and Mary get on the show. What kind of moron sat up? Because you have to have rocks for brains to try to put a bike lane on Gwynns Falls Parkway. Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind? I told people that, hey, I'm going to have Linda Batts and Mary Hughes on, and then we did a rally earlier this week as well. And I told them about this issue, and everyone had the same reaction, Doc. They're like, what kind of idiot thought of that? Are you crazy? Gwynns Falls Parkway? You're going to put a bike path on Gwynns Falls Parkway. So we're gonna get to them and find out what's going on with this business. But those O's, man, the Orioles are rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling. Doc, how do you think that? I mean, I said earlier in the season that they had a good shot to go all the way. You weren't as positive and pessimistic as I was. But how do you think they're going to do now?
Well, I went to the game yesterday, 7-0. It was a good football score, and it was revenge from the day before because we were winning until the last inning. But I still have these same concerns. I am pleasantly surprised as to how well they have done, the coaching, how they brought in all of these young guys, and the young guys are performing. But the proof of the pudding comes in when you get to the playoffs, when you're playing teams consistently that are just as good as you and not better. And I only see two weaknesses with the Orioles at this point. That is, I think we needed to get a startup. We did not get that. And I felt we could have enhanced a little bit getting a home run hitter, but it looks like some of these young guys are beginning to hit home runs. So I'm constantly optimistic. I remember the amazing Mets, and I said these are the amazing Orioles. The amazing Orioles. And I claim that and I copyrighted the amazing Orioles.
I love it. I love that. That is brilliant. The amazing Orioles. And I remember, well, I don't remember. I mean, I was too young to remember. I was like 4 years old, but what the Mets did to the Orioles, and they came out of nowhere. The Orioles were a powerhouse. And
man, you ain't gonna talk about age around me. What are you trying to say? I'm old?
Yeah, I wasn't implying your age at all. I was implying that I'm getting up there.
I'm on the kid, Sean. I'm on the kid.
I don't remember the '69 World Series, but I do remember the moon landing.
Well, good thing you weren't there, because you're a sports fan. A lot of people were no longer Baltimore fans because of three things that happened. 1969, we lost to the New York Jets football team, we lost to the New York Mets baseball team, and we lost to the New York Knicks basketball team. That was the year when I found out everybody had switched their New York fans. Baltimore had probably more New York fans than they do Baltimore fans.
Yeah, much to my chagrin, people need to stay loyal. That really bugs me. But
well, I tell folks, the reason why they anybody but their own home team, that means they probably never play a sport.
Yes.
You don't know what it means to be a team player, to support your own local team. I've been since folks said, yes, I used to be a Pittsburgh fan in baseball, but that was because I got recruited by the Pittsburgh baseball team. But to have so many people in Baltimore City wearing these damn Yankee hats and balls and Red Sox hats, why would y'all move back to New York or Boston?
Yeah, well, my wife's from New York, so I can only say for so much.
Well, she got it honestly.
She's actually from there, so it's legit, as opposed to these other knuckleheads. But I want to do this. I want to get into what's going on, and it has to do with Baltimore City, and I'm just going to go ahead and play it.
Exactly, and researchers have been comparing the number of trash complaints filed in this city with cities in any other part of the country. And what they've discovered has earned Baltimore a new title of the dirtiest city in America. For those who live in Park Heights,
we have alleys like this all through the neighborhood.
They forever wage war with those who dump in Park Heights.
You have a lot of people in the neighborhoods who will ride right down the street and throw a chicken box out the window. They don't care if somebody picks it up or not. Because most of the people that trash the neighborhood, most of them don't live there.
Random people can come through and just dump their trash and keep going.
At the abandoned home beside Tasha Gray's place, there's a fresh dump of trash most every week.
It's a rat problem. It creates rats.
Now, I'm going to stop there. And the reason is, you have a situation here in Baltimore City where you've got, what, a rat problem? What? You got a rat problem because there's so much trash. It's filthy and disgusting. It's a shame. It's a crying shame. Doc, what do you think of this?
Well, I put the responsibility, not necessarily blame, but I put the responsibility on two elected officials that their areas have a great deal to deal with it. Let's talk about the Maryland senator for the district that is the 30s. Let's talk about Senator Antonio Hayes. Let's talk about the dirtiest city council district. Let's talk about James Torrance. I'm hoping they hear the show and to be man enough, not boy enough, man enough to come and respond to it. Are you not the senator and the councilman of the dirtiest senatorial district and the dirtiest council district, James Torrance and Antonio Hayes? What the hell have both of you done?
Well, he's the prince of garbage, James Torrance. He's the prince of garbage. The royal family of filth, the royal family of filth, and he's the prince of garbage. Of course, because he is the mayor, so he is the top of the heap. He's the king of trash, the trash king, Brandon Scott. I haven't come up with a moniker for Pumpkinhead as far as the trash is concerned. I will, but you make a very excellent point, Doc. He is the state senator, and what has he done? Could you tell me what this guy has done as Antonio Hayes' character?
I tell you what he's done. He's lied to the citizens of Baltimore about our community trying to be the first community in the state of Maryland, not just the city of Baltimore, but he lied about our community not wanting a skateboard park. And we officially filed complaints today with the Ethics Commission. We had a half-hour meeting with them, and I officially charged them with two lies dealing with our community not wanting the skateboard park. We got elected officials now that don't give a damn about us and what our feelings are and what we want and don't want. They're basically making their own decisions, and basically they selling the Sierra River. James Torrance and Antonio Hayes, both of them need to be sent to hell.
Wow. Well, you know what? I'm going to be getting biblical since you brought that up. I'm going to end the show, and it's going to get biblical, of biblical proportions. My granddad, pastor Joseph Brown, man of Bible Baptist Church. So I come from the family. I'm in the family, and I'm going to get biblical. But I want to finish. Let me finish this video right now, Doc, on the trashiest city in America.
The trash problem has grown so great that the online publication House Fresh has dubbed Baltimore the dirtiest city in the country. The title comes after researchers analyzed millions of 311 complaints that come into cities each year and discovered that Baltimore had thousands more sanitation complaints last year than any other city in the country. Sacramento was a distant second.
Wow. Okay.
Sanitation requests. Woo!
You got sanitation requests because things are, I guess, pretty bad. The garbage, the refuse, the recycle piling up as well. They're not collecting that. I mean, the mayor is being sued in regards to the trash and recycle and refuse issue. And obviously, you can see, rightfully so, because of what's going on. And this situation, I don't know how things are going to go down regarding the situation, but we're number one in that category. So
that's a sad commentary.
I want to get off of that. What I do want to get on now is the Office of Returning Citizens. It looks like they're opening up a new office in the city government regarding citizens returning, and
right, so this isn't anything.
The Prince of Garbage has actually started the meeting, and so let me go ahead and play a little bit of this.
Returning citizens, this is near and dear, this is personal in terms of work. I'm gathered here with the Mayor of Baltimore, Mayor Brandon Scott, as well.
The King of Trash, go ahead. That's the Prince of Garbage. You gather with the King of Trash. Go ahead.
Well, that's Council President Nick Mosby, and then my colleagues from the council, Councilman Zeke Cohen at the first.
Zeke Cohen. He's Duke of Dumpsters, because his district has those high numbers as well, Doc. Let's go on.
First District, as well as Councilman Chris Burnett of the 8th District. I think Councilwoman Ramos of the 4th.
Oh, and the Duchess of Dumpsters, Odette Ramos, because her zip code district, again, high numbers of complaints. So she's the Duchess of Dumpsters. Let's go on.
18th District was here earlier. In addition to that, we have our Police Commissioner, Rich Worley.
Stop right there. First of all, James, young man, he's not the police commissioner. He's the acting police commissioner. Why are these knuckleheads, and I'm talking about knuckleheads in the media as well, why are they calling this man the police commissioner? I just want to stop and analyze this, because this keeps going on. They're calling him the police commissioner. Did he get voted in by the Baltimore City Council? Did I miss something?
No, you're on point.
So I don't understand why they keep doing it. He's not the police commissioner. It's irresponsible, as far as I'm concerned, to put out there, to put into the minds of people that you have already picked him as a police commissioner, so now you're dubbing him the police commissioner as if he's already the police commissioner and he is not. Let me continue.
In addition to, we had Stephanie Marvolis from Muncie, as well as Greg Alexander from Muncie as well.
Muncie, terrific. Okay.
And we're for workforce development. Again, I'm Councilman James Torrance. This is near
you. You are Councilman James Torrance of the 7th District, the Prince of Garbage. Okay, let's be more specific. Okay.
Here to me, first and foremost. I just want to let.
And I've got more coming up in regards to this guy later on, Doc. This James Torrance guy. I got more coming up in regards to him.
Fuck the name of Pamela Massacre.
Okay, that's enough. This is what I want to go to, and this is. I picked this up, Doc. I don't like tooting my own horn. I'd rather, and I'm not trying to get accolades or anything from anybody. I'm just a straight shooter, and I'm a very observant person, and God's given me gifts, and one of those gifts is I can pick out Bravo Sierra, and I can pick it out quick, and I can pick things up that sometimes other folks don't get. And I'm going to go ahead into this press conference, and so people can hear this. And Doc, this is important. Okay, here we go.
That Governor Moore and his team, I've met with the DJS Secretary in NACO this week.
Let me make sure, if you don't pick up the voice, the squirrely voice, it's the king of trash, Brandon Scott. So let me continue. And this is the Mayor's News Conference of Office of Returning Citizens press conference. Okay, so let me continue.
They are ready, willing, and able to do this work, and I know that they will, to work with all of us to build a system that balances out accountability for everybody, including young people, but also understanding that young people's brains are different.
Okay, what is he talking about, Doc? What do you mean their brains are different? What could you elaborate on what he means or what you think he's saying right there?
I don't think I have a real clue. These young people we got in office now, they got the kid for gab, but half the time, I don't know what the hell they talking about.
I mean, because he uses the term, these young people. First of all, Brandon, you're still young. So, he doesn't give a number. What do you mean, young people? What are you talking about? Could you give a number?
These are young that PM Smith talks about. We gave the kids the keys too early to drive the car. He falls in that network.
Yeah, take the keys back. Oh my goodness, he's driving the car up on a sidewalk. He's hitting signs. He's driving the car off bridges. But because he said their brains are different. What do you mean by that? I mean, what is he saying when and he doesn't give an age, just like I pointed out. Are you talking about young people who are 2 or 3 or 5, 10 years old, or toddlers? Are you talking about teenagers? Are you talking about people under 35, under 40? What age group are you talking about, first of all? You're not a doctor. Second, different how? What do you mean they're different? I mean, you get up and you run your mouth, and people make statements, and I'm listening to this. It's like, what is he talking now? That's not what I really wanted to point out, even though it doesn't make any sense what he's saying. They're different. So they're supposed to be able to commit crimes and get away with it, and we're not supposed to discipline them, or they're not supposed to be punished by the system that was set up in government in order to discipline people who are doing wrong and hurting people and damaging property and killing and stealing and taking people's cars. So we're supposed to, their brain's different. So you tell them that, so they'll run out and just act the fool. Anyway, let me continue.
You have to get to the core of this. Look, you guys have heard me talk ad nauseum about home monitoring. Hell, I had a bill in Annapolis this year to deal exactly with this issue, only to find out that what? This young man who participated in the Brooklyn shooting was on.
Stop. Did you hear what he just said, Doc? He said that this young man who participated in the Brooklyn shooting. Let me ask you a question, everyone. Have we had a trial? Have we had a trial? Has there been a trial? Has there been due process exercised, Doc, in this case?
None.
Okay, so why is he saying that?
Trying to get him and Councilman Torrance some votes, but he might be surprised. The overwhelming majority, I'm saying to say, former felons are not even registered to vote. Did you hear? It came from me, Doc Cheatham. The overwhelming majority of our former felons, we have not done the right thing by them by getting them educated and registered to vote. So all you folks taking credit for what's it doing, how about get some voter registration forms and encouraging our former felons that are coming back home, because many of them are coming back home, especially the Q1217. Why aren't we registering to vote? Voter registration is down by 1,500 just since January. It's down 1,500, not up. That means you folks that are banging your chest that you're doing something, you're not doing something. These folks are coming home and y'all not doing the darn thing to educate them and get them registered to vote.
Well, they're supposed to be.
You're talking about somebody that helped pass the law to get former felons the right to vote. That's right. You hear it from Doc Cheatham. I'm the one who created the Maryland Voter Rights Restoration Coalition.
Did they?
You folks aren't doing anything. You're going around beating your chest, but you're not registering and educating our former felons the necessity in them registering to vote. And voting, not for people with their same name, vote for someone that's going to basically represent you.
Did they talk to you about this Office of Returning Citizens or get your advice in any way on this?
Nope, not at all.
Okay, well, I'm going to...
And why would those two do it? They don't know anything about prison. How often have they gone to Hadestown or to Jessup? They don't know a damn thing.
Okay, I'm merging. Hello, Linda. Hey, Doc, it's Linda Batts and Mary Hughes.
Hello there.
Hey, Doc, you still... Okay, we got...
there, John. So nice to hear your voice, always.
Well, thanks for coming on the Outsiders podcast. You caught Doc, he was on a roll, but he was on a roll and he was making a great point. Everyone, we have Linda Batts and we have Mary Hughes on the line with us on the Outsiders podcast. And Doc, continue what he was saying because I want you to hear what you were saying, and we're going to go over this BCCC meeting and get into this bike lane business. Could you continue, Doc?
Well, I guess the point that I'm trying to make, that because we're in the area that we're in Baltimore, that we have a high propensity for former felons to come back home or come back to Baltimore City in specific. Now, mind you, our elected officials don't know the difference in people coming back home and what influence it has. Well, my suggestion is, and yet I take some of the credit for former felons having the right to vote. If you go back and check, I did the first radio show on it. I did the first TV show for 2 years on getting former felons the right to vote. And what I'm saying, we got organizations now with names and receiving funding that are not doing anything. Right now, voter registration is down since January to the tune of 1,500. We've lost 1,500 just since January. And I'm saying the area that we need to educate our former felons is to get them registered to vote and voting intelligently. We need to do this with former felons. And we got groups walking around banging their chest saying they're doing something. You're not doing a damn thing if you're not educating our former felons and getting them to register to vote.
Well, I agree wholeheartedly. And Linda and Mary, we were talking about that issue in registering to vote and this Office of Returning Citizens. And Slim Shady, Brandon Scott, he made a comment. And I want you to hear what he said and give me your take on it. I'm going to play that real quick.
Certainly talk ad nauseum about home monitoring. Hell, I had a bill in Annapolis this year to deal exactly with this issue, only to find out that what? This young man who participated in a Brooklyn shooting was on.
Okay, he just said that this young man who participated in the Brooklyn shooting, was there a trial? Because I must have missed it. Hello, Linda?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Yeah, I can't either.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, but I couldn't hear the recording.
Okay, that's okay. What he said is that he made a statement about this young man who participated in the Brooklyn shooting. Was there a trial? Because he said he participated in it. I thought there was due process. Hello, ladies?
I've been absolutely unclear. The audio is not very distinct here. So, I'm missing certain parts of what said something. And if you can set it up again,
Okay.
perhaps both Mary and I can hear what you're saying. But right now, we've only got the pieces.
Okay.
Linda, why not let Sean sort of give a summary of what was said?
Yes, well, this is at the Office of Returning Citizens. And Doc, are you okay? Did you hear it okay?
No, I couldn't hear it either. I think I unmuted Sean. I think it's the audio.
Okay, well, I queued it up, but anyway, he's making a statement that the young man, he's using the term, the young man participated in the mass shooting, the Brooklyn mass shooting. And I was asking the question, was there a trial? I must have missed it. Isn't there something called due process?
Now, this is the young man that they arrested that actually, they feel, pulled the trigger that killed these two young people.
Well, they didn't say he killed them. They said he did the shooting. He did some shooting.
He did some shooting,
Yes.
so we don't know where his bullets went.
Yes, but he's saying that he participated in the shooting. And as far as the way I know the law, when you say someone participated and not use the term allegedly, before you say participated and say allegedly participated, you are basically claiming that this person is guilty. It's called due process. And the reason I bring it up because it's a huge deal. When you, as the mayor, go out in a press conference and during the press conference make a statement like that, that the young man who participated, not allegedly participated, in a mass shooting, then I'm pretty sure the attorneys who they might be looking at as far as to defend this young man, I'm pretty sure they're going to pick up on that. Because you're not supposed to say that as a mayor. There hasn't been a trial.
Well, we certainly understand the implications of due process, and we certainly understand the implications of semantics. And we also know that in some instances, and I'm not quite certain how the mayor's protocol works, but there's a precursor to the mayor's interaction with the public. Part of that is his own wisdom and instinct and intellect, and the other piece of that is the staff. So I don't know whether the choice of the verb without the adjective, allegedly or purportedly or what have you before it is as a result of the mayor's perhaps or perhaps work without him actually reflecting on it. But that's neither here nor there. We all have an obligation, very cautious about how we represent ourselves in making statements. And I guess this is something that, mayor in front of the scrutiny.
Well, I'm going to speak with my friend, Abe White Pettit. I'm going to give him a call because I'm curious about this. I may speak with Thura Benaraj as well. I have a few other attorney friends because when he said it, I was watching it last night, and we're going to, don't worry ladies, we're going to get to James Torrance and the bike lanes and that issue. But I just wanted to touch on this because when he said it, I just sat up and said, oh my goodness, he did not just say that. If any attorneys or if this kid is an attorney that's defending him, you're the mayor. You're not just some guy talking. You're the mayor of Baltimore City.
Well, Sean, there's some protection here. He may be the mayor, but he's not the sharpest kid on the block.
Oh, I've said that many times.
That's right. There are times he says things and he says nothing. I mean, it gets to a point, it's in one ear and out the other. He does not perpetuate well what he should be saying. He speaks rhetoric, a lot of rhetoric.
I agree.
Put it past him for saying what he did. That's part of Brandon Scott.
Well,
He is not well versed. He doesn't know what to say. He's off the cuff. And so, I just let it go because, hey, that's him. That's the way he is. He doesn't think things through. And he does things thinking, obviously, that is going to give him some points with some people. So, it's just not relevant most of the time, whatever that man says, whatever he says.
Well,
This is where T.J. Smith excelled in what he did in working for the Baltimore City Police Department. I think folks who know the messages he would give, either he gave it or he gave it to the commissioner, but you always had very well written, very well spoken words that came from the commissioner. That's because T.J. most of the time was evidently the writer. So, I don't necessarily pull fingers totally at Brandon, but when you're mayor, if you can't do it, then you need to get someone to write your messages so that they stay on point.
Exactly. And
don't make you sound like an asshole because you're saying someone's guilty of something that hasn't done anything yet.
Exactly.
But the thing about it, you meant like you said with respect to good staff work. Yeah. But he's an arrogant individual. We don't know how well. I personally believe a lot of his staff are afraid of this man. They're frightened by him. They want to hold on to jobs and they walk on eggshells. So I've heard this. So I'm not surprised that he doesn't have people around him saying, Mayor, I think we ought to say it like this. Let's concentrate on this and let's put the words together. He's very arrogant. So somebody say Brandon Trump. Somebody say Brandon Trump.
Oh,
that's a
boy.
good one. That's a good one.
Well, that's another moniker. I mean, he's known as what? The Embarrassment. That's one moniker. And then, of course, we have Slim Shady. And then now you have the new one. It's the Trash King. Since Baltimore's the dirtiest city in the country.
Yeah, we moved up from fifth place to the number one spot. And also, Sean, this is the worst run city. We got that.
Yes, we got that.
And it's one of the worst cities to raise children. We're getting all types of accolades, aren't we?
Yes, we are. And thanks to Brandon. So thanks to him. Let's go, Brandon. And what I want to do now, guys, I want to get on this. And that is the BCCC meeting that was last week. And I want to play a clip of, because I had this young man, I guess he works for the mayor's office, Derek McCorkey or McCory, whatever his name is. He sent me an email. I guess he had an issue with something that I said, and I get the accuracy of it. And I did respond back to young Derek McCorkey, I believe that's his name. He did not respond back to me. He did get in touch with you, Linda, to get in touch with me. But again, I responded back to young Derek again. Did not get a response. So what I was raised with is this saying. One of the sayings is, the proof is in the pudding. So I'm going to play the pudding of the meeting. This is a clip, and I don't know if you ladies are going to be able to hear it, but my audience will hear it, but I'll go over it with you. Let me go ahead and play it.
Because we know
transit system that allows people to get east and west fast enough. I just want to be clear, like that's a state area. I'm sure that represents the city. Reference city budget issues, right? This is something that we're actively doing as a council because right now we are looking at, because of where our financial conversations are, we have to cut Baltimore City Police Department budget.
And he says we have to cut the Baltimore City Police Department budget. In this clipping, he says it's very low. I have a source of mine didn't give me the audio, so the audio is kind of low, but he's clearly saying that we have to cut the budget of the Baltimore City Police Department. And at the rally that we had on the 21st, where I said what I said, that is what he said. Cutting the budget is defunding the police. So after the biggest mass shooting in the history of the city, this guy wants to defund, and he says we have to cut the budget, defund the police. That's insane, it's ludicrous. So with that, Linda, you were there. What do you think of that meeting that went on with young James?
Well, I have extreme concerns about town hall meetings that don't allow for full participation, both in person and virtually. Okay, our virtual participants from several town hall meetings have not been able to ask questions. Some of them have not been able to use the chat feature. I don't know whether or not it's been controlled or limited, by the persons who are facilitating that, or whatever the mechanics are. But even in the course of being physically present at those meetings that don't allow for the type of time for meaningful discourse around issues that are important to the community, some folks have been told that, they cannot participate. And in any meeting that, they raise their hand, and because they live in one community, and these town halls have been identified by community, they cannot, raise their voice and amplify in this town hall. And I just, I really have concerns about many things. And this town hall theory is something that Mary Hughes will tell you. She asked for over 2 decades ago because of the dearth of concerns that we had about this community in our respective communities. And took a whole year cycle, very proximate to the beginning of the election cycle, for us to get around and have these town hall meetings. I can't think of what took so long to get to them, but I do know that there was more talk about what I've done and less about what we've done. More talk about we the city, we the people, we DOT, we whatever the case might be, as opposed to what the feedback, empirical feedback, qualitative and quantitative feedback has been from the constituents around issues in our community. And I'm in a block now that's in the 7th district, 1900 block of Walbrook. And the rear of these houses between Walbrook and Ridge Hill looks like the demilitarized zone.
Yes, I know that area.
Where is the city in terms of improving the quality of lives and holding landlords and tenants and the city accountable for their collaborative role in ensuring vibrant and healthy neighborhoods? Please, DPW, please, housing, come to the 1900 block of Walbrook, Eventide, and abut Ridge Hill, the 1900 block, and address the systemic issues block-wide that are impeding the quality of lives for people here in this community. That's what needs to be done.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I understand what you're saying.
Are we saying Antonio Hayes and James Torrance haven't been there? That's in over their districts.
Well, I don't know. I can't verify whether they've been here or not.
Well, the city is the dirtiest city in the country. So if you're the dirtiest city in the whole country, then, you know, it stands to reason that you're going to have areas in the city that are going to be like that Walbrook area, because I grew up in Chelsea Terrace, right up the street from Walbrook. I know Gwynns Falls, Walbrook, that whole area. I went to Coppin State. So I understand exactly what you're talking about, but you got somebody in there, and you got Antonio Hayes, pumpkinhead, who doesn't show up, and you've got these people and these leaders. But, I mean, so what are the citizens going to do about it? What's going to happen? What are they going to do?
Can I just say to Sean?
Sure, Mary.
Number one, the trash problem, without a doubt, is not entirely on the mayor. We live in the city, and I'll tell you, because we clean up a lot. People come through your neighborhood, oh, I don't want this sandwich. They throw it out their window on your street. There has got to be some sort of education and some sort of pride in where you live built into our system, starting in schools, starting in elementary. The things that I hold DPW accountable for, they don't think outside the box. They've done nothing different than they've done the 40, 50 years. They have got to come up with some other ideas. When we were in a meeting with Chow, was in charge of DPW at that time, and we brought this up. Well, he says, well, what am I going to do? We clean up, and it's like that again. Hey, that's why you're getting the big bucks. We got to figure out a way to stop this. I don't care if it's cameras, they don't enforce things. They just tag numbers, they don't enforce it. People have called them with tag numbers, they don't enforce it. So if we can get this enforcement going and get something in that regard, that would be good. Harder enforcement. Let's stop locking people up. Now stop having deep fines. And then maybe we wouldn't be the dirtiest city in the United States. So I want to get back to what you said about Torrance talking about defunding the police department.
Yes,
I have to always go back and say, why? What's behind that? There's a purpose. There's a reason for those words to be spoken. Who or what has become for him to make him say such a ridiculous statement in the midst of the massacre that took place in Brooklyn's project?
Exactly.
I just can't figure it out. Where did it come from? Now, Brandon ran on defunding, if you remember.
Yes, he did.
When he was running. And then when he got off, he backed off on that. So a lot of his supporters who were for defunding got mad at him. Now you got Torrance, who's going to be running for re-election. This is what boggles my mind. This is not a statement. This is not a stance you make at a time like this when you're running for office. So we have to wonder what's behind that statement. What is going on? And I cannot for the life of me figure it out. It doesn't make sense based on what you were saying, based on bullets flying everywhere, based on all this. Oh, carjacking and car stealing and all this stuff. The crime that's in this city, and we're low with police officers, and you want to defund
the police.
Well, my question is this. When he said that at the meeting, I was on Zoom. Did anybody ask why? What are you basing that on? Because I think you just made a statement and
nobody challenged him. I see, that's what surprised me, because he wasn't challenged on that. And with Brandon, as far as what you said, with educating people about not, trashing up your own neighborhood and that sort of thing, and the fact that you're going to need some type of enforcement and as far as discipline to have people to stop that. But here's the fact, Brandon is a big part of that, because he stopped a lot of the recycle and pickup, and he's even being sued for it. So he's being sued because of his actions in not having the DPW and not funding the DPW to do what it needs to do. And what he was doing is he was funding nonprofits like Lazarus Wright Inc., which was a part of his Clean Corps business with these nonprofits and these awardees. The Outsiders, myself, yours truly, I broke that story. I was the first to bring that story up about Clean Corps and about Christopher Robin Winnie the Pooh, Irvin, and his antics. He was in a bankruptcy and he was in a foreclosure at the time of being approved. And I was in the mortgage business for almost 20 years. I did almost everything in that business. And there's no way in the world, if somebody brought that on my desk and said, hey, Sean, look at this, I would have threw it out. This guy's in a bankruptcy and a foreclosure, and he's had previous bankruptcies. I'm not going to give this guy $1.346 million. Are you crazy? So, yeah, these nonprofits that Brandon has, these nonprofits, where he gets over on people, that's where the grift is. That's why he's Slim Shady. Because the nonprofits, oh, you can't look at the nonprofits. Oh, no, we can't give you Safe Streets information. Oh, no, we can't give you Monty. We can't give you that. It's these nonprofits that he uses these grifts with.
Can I give y'all some specific information?
Sure.
Please. I'm right now sitting in the 2000 block of Walbrook. I went to elementary school 2 blocks below it, in the 2100 block. 3/4 of the houses in the 2000 block of Walbrook are boarded up. But here's where the two meets the road. We need to not only look at whose council district is it, James Torrance, whose legislative district it is, that is Antonio Hayes, but we need to also speak loudly, who is the president of the neighborhood? Amen.
Exactly.
And I call names. I'm too old to start guessing. I call names.
Yeah.
It's in the block where Reverend Bailey is the community president. He's a strong supporter of Torrance and Antonio Hayes. And the next block below it, which is the 2100 block, that's the neighborhood association of Adeline Hutchinson. But it's W. Coleman. Are you referring to Robin W. Coleman? That's school. That's school you went to elementary school when it was on Walbrook. Not when it was on Windsor, when it was on Walbrook. I'm talking about the president of the Montgomery Group and the president. He's a very, very, very strong supporter of Antonio. Very strong. And James Strong. And I'm saying, folks, I'm calling names. If we're not going to call the names of the city councilman and the senator, then who we going to blame? But I also, I just added for your reference, Reverend Bailey is the president of the 2000 block of Walbrook. And I'm sitting in front of that block right now.
And you're right there.
And now, Doc, is that the same area that you invited us down to where they dumped the dirt?
No, that's actually Coppin Heights, Ashco East, where another strong supporter of Antonio Hayes and James Strong. I call names. Celia Davis is the president of that neighborhood. I call names. You know, I'm not telling a lie. I'm telling the truth.
You're not. But here's the deal, and Linda and I have talked about this often. Let's take on Adeline. Let's take on Greta Mondown. They got $100,000. Am I correct? Linda Floyd, executive director from Torrance. So you know who she's beholden to.
Oh, yes.
He's buying support, he's buying votes. That's all that's about.
Well,
That's all that's about.
Go ahead.
Let me say, Doc, as well as Sean and Mary, I think how the Catalyst grant is written and what its requirements are should be subject to some reevaluation, because the purview of the MCC has a much wider influence than the membership that it allows by virtue of its bylaws. And for an executive director to be hired to facilitate the goals and objectives of a group that should have a much wider reach in terms of impact of that asset to that community is something that I believe merits discussion. But I also want to go back to something else you said, Sean, and that is the use of the term defunding. And we all know how folks are, with vocabulary and semantics. Now, we did not say defund, did not use those words, but he did talk about cutting the budget, which is synonymous. It's the same thing. It's the same euphemism that we hear associated with, no, that's not a bike lane, that's a bumper lane. It's the same play on words. And insult to the intelligence of the audience that we hear time and time again. It really needs to stop.
Well, I have a question. Isn't the president, speaking of these organizations, isn't the president of Panway Neighborhood Association. Isn't Sheena Ham, isn't she on James Torrance's staff?
Of course she is, yes.
Okay, isn't that a conflict of interest?
It is, and I have to take some blame for that because I was on the nominating committee. I'm part of the Panway Neighborhood Association. And we look diligently for someone to take it on, beg and whatever, and we're getting on our back. You have to have a president. And I'm like, so she had made some statements that, she may be interested, not that she knows. The only problem I'm going to have with you is that I don't think you can wear too mad. Because I think we're going to come against the council system and whatever, and you got to be thankful. Now you can put your people to work that machine I had who works for a councilman. When you're president, that thing with us, you have to enforce yourself on that. Oh, I can do that. I don't agree with everything he says, blah, blah, this, that, whatever.
Right, sure.
And I said, okay, all right, we're going to give this a try. But she has proven that she can't do it. She cannot wear two hats because she's going to be listening. Bottom line, folks, everybody wants to keep their job. And if she were to do what she should do as president, she would jeopardize her job. And I know
so she should step down.
There's a great deal of people are leery of her, and the election's coming up again, and I do not believe that she will be the president again. But she has proven that she can't do it. And I'm going to give you a perfect example. When we were having the debate for the state attorney, and we had all the candidates, including Maryland, so we were able to do that. I was in charge working with one of the persons from Panway to put that together. She didn't like the idea that when we sent out the flyers that I put on here, that the city of Baltimore is broken. She got upset.
Oh, really?
As a result, she said, oh no, Panway won't be a part of this. I said, no, everything's already gone out. Everything's done. We're going to go with it. No, it will not. And she didn't hold a board meeting, and I got so frustrated with the executive board. And I said, okay, forget it. We're going to put out new flyers saying we're going to cancel that. We're going to make it another name. And we're going to have this debate. And I stopped being with this Panway because of that. Now, as the board, you don't want to dictate them like this. If that's what you want, I want no part of it.
She should have stepped down.
She should, but she's not.
Well,
Sheena is a person that likes titles. She is also the president of the PGA at Gwynns Falls Parkway. So that was something that should not have happened, but I will have to take the blame for that. And she's supported of her song. And that is, she's going to be that way. And I have to defend her because I know people are not going to go jeopardize their job for a volunteer position as president of a community association. But I think her days of you and even her vice president at this time is very leery of her and really wants out. So, things hit the fan. What you do in the dark comes to the light. So it's a short term for her. We'll just see who will become the president this next term.
Well, I have another.
That brings to mind just another concept, and that is the culture of being a sponsor. I spent 31 fabulous years in federal government across with the leaders and the leaders at the highest level of government. And not once did I lie to Kathy as the director of civil rights, equity, and environmental justice and all these other responsibilities I have. Not once did I ever have an institute that stood to me, Linda, no. The funding that you want to recommend against the agency is something that I want you to reconsider. They respected my position, they respected my credentials, and more importantly, they know community is there's a culture of negative racism, nothing I'm never like nothing down and then we should clean. And that's what the government did not have. Especially, I've always been appointed to the downtown, looking for the inclusion of other programs as director of equity and environmental justice in the Department of Public Health. And I was talking to the law to come in front of y'all are different from you being on the federal level. Like Baltimore City, and that's what I'm saying, Baltimore City is a different animal.
Yes, it is.
The professionalism is not there. It's just not there. And the character of individuals are not there.
Well, I want to talk about somebody. Ladies, I want to talk about somebody. Okay, because I'm chomping at the bit. This guy's name, I've heard his name come up several times, and his name is Jed Weeks. Who is this character? I mean, I pulled him up on Twitter, and I was reading some things that he has on Twitter, and he's got this picture of him next to a pickup truck, and it says, this is January 10th, 2021. I'm 6 feet tall. Well, congratulations, Jed. And there's no reason this truck should exist in a city or really at all. So he's standing next to, it looks like a Ford truck. No, GMC.
I have to get off. I'm in the hospital with my brother.
Okay, Mary.
I'll talk to everyone later. Thank you, brother.
Okay, take care. But this guy, Jed Weeks, he's saying that he doesn't believe pickup trucks should exist at all. No, there's more. And I'm pulling this up, and he's got a picture, I guess a video of this young lady. She has, again, it's a pickup truck. And she's using a trampoline to get inside the pickup truck. And he seems to have a problem with that as well. Why should you do this to yourself? And one more, real quick. This is very interesting. He posted this December 16, 2022. And if you have these signs in your yard, you are a bad person. Really? Nobody should listen to your opinions. And a sign basically saying no apartments, no compromise, safe suburbia, something to that effect. What is wrong with this guy?
What are you talking about?
It's a no apartment sign. I don't know where it is because it doesn't even say. It just is no. It says no apartments, no compromise, and safe suburbia. That sounds good to me. Safe suburbia. You want to be safe, and no new light rails or something to that effect. I don't know where the sign is, but he had posted this, and I'm thinking, what? I mean, is he against First Amendment? Is he anti-constitutional? At least parts of the Constitution he has a problem with someone putting up a sign. I mean, what is with this guy? Is he involved in these bike lanes somehow, or he's on some type of committee? His name keeps coming up, Jed Weeks.
My simple argument is through the invitation that was extended to him to come to the community meeting regarding and all of the attendance and surreptitious moves associated with the resurfacing on Gwynns Falls Parkway.
Okay.
And Mary was in contact with him. I knew he was bipolar. And he told Mary Hughes that he wanted an agenda, and Mary Hughes orally advised him that the one has to be approved. So I had a number of different people involved with it, and we're invited to the team, and to looking to on, and the new members will be there to express themselves. And then we see that basically one of the necessary to maximize the agenda. In the business, or what he had happened was his very maximize his goals. That agenda. So, there's something really sketchy and circumspect about the way he communicated the message, which led a lot of other people to somehow more. What kind of music are we going to go see without an attempt to go to that?
Linda, you're going in and out. Linda, you're going in and out a little bit. I want to make sure everybody hears what you're saying.
I'm sorry about that, but I'm talking to the same place.
Oh, okay.
I'm not moving.
Okay, well, just keep going. It's going a little bit in and out, but I want to make sure everyone hears this about this Jed Weeks character.
Right. So the position is, we were the first to come to the meeting because apparently he is one, who's supposed to himself, I mean, I don't know, some kind of attack or whatever, and I don't know whether...
Now, this is, Linda, what, okay, this is when I said, when I hear something, I go, hold on, wait a minute. You're saying that this guy, Jed Weeks, didn't want to come to the meeting. Now, Jed Weeks is a Caucasian male. Obviously, he's bragging about the fact he's 6 feet because he's standing next to a pickup truck. I guess that's important. But anyway, Jed is a Caucasian male, and he's saying that he didn't want to come to the meeting because he was afraid of harm or physical harm, being hurt.
That's what the message that he posted on Facebook. His is about a black community attended predominantly by black people, and I don't know whether he had any kind of contact, with people in community meetings, but I've been in community meetings that have become extremely impassioned and extremely volatile, not in some sort of way, but in an exchange of viewpoints sort of way. And that's what community meetings are supposed to do, to get all of this dialogue and all of the viewpoints out on the table. And that's what we wanted him to do. What we wanted to have others believe that there's sanitary when you go into a black community meeting, particularly along the Gwynns Falls border, on these issues when nothing could be bothered from the group.
I mean, I was at the meeting a few weeks ago, and yeah, sure, anytime you have a community meeting, and you're talking about putting bike lanes in or doing things that the community does not want, and Lawrence Bell made an excellent point. It's your community. You don't want it. The hierarchy, as far as the city goes, are the people are on top. You don't want it. So why are you going through all of this in the first place? And another thing is a stupid idea. You're going to put a bike lane, call it a buffer lane, whatever you want to call it, it's a bike lane. And then you want to put that on Gwynns Falls Parkway? What do you got, rocks in your hands? And they came up with it. I'm sorry, Doc, were you going to say something?
Well, I would say that I know that there is some fear. Most of them don't look like us to come into our community. But that might be because of the numerous injustices that you have perpetrated against us. 8 years ago, I decided I was going to campaign in both black and white neighborhoods because I wanted votes for everybody. I wanted to represent everybody. I ran with a Jewish running mate. We went into the Remington neighborhood. And while we were in that meeting, a guy asked the question, what that nigga doing in our community?
Are you serious?
I am serious.
When was this?
This one, and he said it in front of my running mate, who is Jewish, and he happens to be white. But he had, what is that nigga doing in our area? Well, of course,
when did this happen?
Registered with it. Remington.
No, when?
I went into my car. I had a legal right to have a gun back then because I was getting so many threats from the NAACP. And my running mate said, God, let's go ahead and leave because you might do something you're going to have to regret later on. But this was in the Remington. And the reason I brought it up is they're having a meeting this weekend. They're having a meeting this weekend. And the Guardian agents are going to be there. But I'm not going to subject myself to that kind of language that folks are going to use in front of me. Because I want to say or do something I know I'm going to regret later. So, some of the fear that white folks have coming into our community is because you feel guilty of the injustice you perpetrated against us.
Doc, when did this happen? How long ago was this?
8 years ago. I was running my house in Delaware.
8 years ago. And this guy used the N-word just up
in front of me.
Right in front of you. And he felt comfortable enough where he can, and the people there didn't turn on him and say, what in the hell are you doing using that word? No one.
Well, I know that one person registered a concern to my candidate that was running with me. And we, of course, both discussed it. And I said, I think it's in my best interest that I leave, and he decided to leave with me. But this is something when I was running for political office.
Yeah, well, this is what problem I'm having with what you're saying. First problem I'm having is that the fact that this guy is going to say something like that in front of folk and right in front of your face. The second problem I have, which is a huge problem, is the people there did not turn to that guy and say, look, we're not going to have any, sir, you got to leave, and kicked his butt out of the meeting. That's the problem I have. What is wrong with these people? They didn't tell that guy, we don't have that kind of language. This is insulting. You're not a representative of our community. You need to get out of here and kick this butt out. And they just simply sat there. Are you serious?
He was not saying what other residents thought. He just verbalized what he wanted to say, that many of them had in their feelings.
Oh, so they did. Okay. That's my point.
Because I know the mindset of that community has not significantly changed.
Okay, so they're a bunch of flaming racists because the fact that they didn't do anything. The fact that they didn't do anything about it just it says that they were in agreement, and the people in there were a bunch of flaming racists. Wow. I knew the city was segregated, but just outright like that. And 8 years ago, huh? Okay, well, this is what we're going to do, because with this fight that's going on with the bike lanes and the buffer lanes or whatever. Now, young James, the Prince of Garbage. The Prince of Garbage, T.J. Smith said this on his show yesterday, that James Torrance told him that he was going to back off of pushing this buffer lane, bike lane, or whatever it is, on Gwynns Falls Parkway. Now, I sent an email. You all received it. You a carbon copy. I sent an email to James, to his personal email, and to the Baltimore City government, the city councilman email address. I have not received an answer, and the email was asking him if he did indeed tell T.J. Smith this, would he be willing to put it in writing and give that to the Gwynns Falls Parkway Association, that he was going to be backing off on pushing this buffer or lines or whatever you call it on Gwynns, or resurfacing, whatever, on Gwynns Falls Parkway. I did not receive a response. So he's got another day, because I think it's all Bravo Sierra, or as, and Linda, you know what this means, Shiza, from James Torrance.
You say you didn't know, but okay. I didn't hear the description that you, or the adjective that you used, but, the bottom line is this, how did one arrive at a decision that resurfacing, which is a pretext for turning Gwynns Falls into one lane for 5 blocks, is what in the best interest not only of the community, but the people who travel that way without having a conversation with them.
Well,
that sort of argument by fiat is extremely problematic and can be unjust, particularly when there are interest groups that have loudly touted what they want in outcomes in certain communities. And so I remain very troubled about that, as well as the meeting that I went to last night regarding the Wabash, which initially started as a dialogue several months ago at Forest Park regarding the Wabash separated bike lane. And in front of 60 or 70 participants, the audience basically said, we don't want you to take a driving lane off of Wabash and make it a bike lane.
Oh my goodness, Wabash.
So it's incredibly yesterday up at the Visitor Center, and DOT presented, well, we're not calling it a separated bike lane now. They're calling it a multimodal lane because we want to create curb space where pedestrians can walk. Pedestrians can't walk up and down Wabash Avenue safely, so we're going to create a curb space, a protected curb space for them, which, oh, by the way, will be wide enough to allow bikes to ride on it and everything else. So it's the ultimate, and I think 21 words, insult the intelligence and the integrity of the people, and one of the participating members, audience members said, listen, I haven't seen anybody walk up and down, walk back. Really? No. I have not seen anybody that seems to be jeopardized or unsafe. So why are you doing this? Well, I mean, that's a rhetorical question. You know, why is all of this being done? And why is there such a block like that to get it done? And to get it done under the guise of the Americans with Disabilities Act, when in fact, some years ago, these curbs and streets were supposed to be made compliant, and I believe Baltimore had to be sued to bring it into compliance. So now you want to use the ADA as your in-row for making accessible multimodal paths and all of this, when if you were right conscious and compliant with the civil rights laws 20 and 30 years ago when you were requested to do so, these access paths would have already been there. Well, if we would believe in every word. But now there's just a wholesale level of skepticism and distrust, that's permeating the city.
Well, here's the thing. Linda, here's the thing. Okay. Now, you mentioned the ADA and being in compliance, Disabilities Act, American Disabilities Act. Has the ADA put out any information data on areas of the city that need to be in compliance, including Wabash Avenue?
Well, I mean, let's turn to I certainly have not Googled lately to see what the ADA has said about Baltimore and its compliance or non-compliance status. But clearly there's an Office of Equity and Civil Rights. And there is a Department of Transportation that is supposed to have the chief equity officer, according to the mayor's 2018 equity ordinance, who's supposed to be ensuring compliance with all of these provisions. So let's ask, why don't you request the mayor's equity advisor from the Department of Transportation to be a guest on your show?
That's it. I will. As a matter of fact, I've asked people to be on the show. Some have come on, some haven't. Antonio Hayes had agreed to come on the show, and he was just getting ready to come on, and then he wimped out, pumpkinhead, chicken out. I'll name someone else who was supposed to come on the show, who, let's see, the clerk of the court, the 24, 25-year-old Xavier Washington, Conaway, Alexander, Jones, Smith Jackson, whatever his name is. Okay, I know his name. Okay, we talked. We had, as a matter of fact, I thought it was a very professional conversation we had. And then he chickened out, and I'm hearing from multiple sources throughout the AOC, Administrative Office of the Courts, that there are some serious issues going on with the Circuit Court of Baltimore City. So I've asked people to come on. I've even reached out to Ivan Bates, didn't get anything. And I'm going to go on record as well. Didn't hear anything, nothing from Ivan Bates. So I don't know what's going on with this character as well. But I want to do this because, I'm going to have you back on. I'm going to have Mary back on because this is going to be an ongoing issue, and I want to continue the conversation. We'll be coming at the end of the podcast, and I definitely want to continue this conversation. But I want to leave you all with this. Okay, I said I was going to get biblical. I told Doc this. I want to get biblical at the end of the show. And you have people, I'm not going to name names, but you have people, when they hear the show, because they look at the show and they listen to the show. So when they hear the show, they're going to know who I'm talking about. People who get up in front, get on podiums at press conferences when they're running for office and the like, and they say that I'm a Christian. I am of the Lord. I want to do right for you all. Vote me in. Look at me. I'm a Christian. This is what I have to say to that. Matthew 7. Oh, my grandfather was a pastor, and I've been a Christian for over 50 years, so this is not new to me. But I want to say this, and I want to leave with this all. Matthew 7, 21 through 23. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, shall enter the kingdom of heaven, but he who does the will of my Father in heaven. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in your name, cast out demons in your name, and done many wonders in your name? In other words, they were saying they were Christians. And then I will declare to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you who practice lawlessness. Now, the lawless ones in Baltimore City, the lawless ones, the Dream Team, an F5 hurricane. An F5 hurricane, it's in the Atlantic, it's swirling around, it's getting bigger and it's getting more powerful, and it's coming. The Dream Team's coming. And it's coming, and the lawless ones in government, elected officials, the phony baloney, the ones that are claiming they're Christians and they're not, it's going to be your nightmare. And on that note, thanks, Linda, for being on the show. Mary had to leave. Linda Batts, Gwynns Falls Parkway Association, thanks for being on the show.
I thank you for having me, and it's always refreshing to hear someone who's willing to really put a tightly focused approach on issues that are meaningful to the people, and in a platform where they otherwise would not have access to this information or these perspectives. And so I thank you for what you do, and look forward to being invited back.
Oh, definitely, definitely you will. And Doc, Superstar Doc Cheatham, my co-host, thanks. Fantastic job. Both of you, fantastic job, Linda.
Thank you, as always. It's a pleasure working with you, and, hopefully together, we can solve some of these issues, and hopefully folks will invite us to be leaders in solutions for Baltimore City. I have extensive background in problem solving and addressing issues and coming up with new and innovative ways to problem solve. My track record speaks for itself in Washington, D.C., as well as with the Department of Public Works, where I worked for 2 years in Baltimore City. So, speaks for itself. I'm here to help Baltimore.
Great.
Love my city, but a lot has got to change.
Okay, Doc is
The
good.
revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be
The
televised.
revolution will not be televised, but you will know about it. But anyway, the Dream Team's coming. Everyone, God bless. Take care, and see you all next time. The Outsiders Podcast. Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.